Chapter 5. Speedboat in the south of France. On leaving the school, my mother and I holidayed in the south of France near Monte Carlo. We fell in love with it and found a beautiful villa to buy on a cute little peninsula called Cap d'Aille, overlooking the Mediterranean with Cap Ferrat on the horizon. Canadian media baron Roy Thomson had the magnificent villa next door, and iconic film star Greta Garbo also had her villa there. We called ours Villa Serena and spent many summers there, although few of them turned out to be serene. When my mother and I came back to England a few weeks later, my parents, Mom and Pop as I then called them, surprised and delighted me by giving me the gift of a speedboat. I can only imagine that their decision must have come about through a conversation like this. Pop: "I'm really worried about Madeleine. She's out of control. If she doesn't pull herself together and get serious, she'll end up a total mess. Her choice in friends is awful, and she's such a wild teenager. She won't listen to me, so there's not much I can do. You need to keep her close to you so she doesn't go off the rails." Mom: "She's had such a rough time. She's a good girl, and I think she's smart like you. I'm sure it'll all turn out okay. And your financial help and support will make it easier for me. In fact, I'm worried that she'll get bored having 2 months of a beach holiday at the villa each summer. You remember how much she loved the water skiing when we were all in Italy last year? Well, I've been wondering if you'd buy her a boat so she can water ski to her heart's content, and the boat will give her something to be responsible for. What do you think?" Pop: "Well, that's not a bad suggestion, and business is going quite well at the moment, so I think we could do it. In fact, the boat show is coming up next week, so why don't we go, and maybe we'll find one there for her, and then you can drive it down to the Mediterranean with you." My brand-new fiberglass boat with an outboard motor powerful enough for water skiing and 4 fancy reclining seats was named Araminta. I moored her at a buoy in the bay below the villa. Every day those of us who were staying at the villa would cross the tiny road that looped right around our house, climb down the rough staircase opposite, hugging the steep slope down the hundreds of steps to the beach. There I spent nearly all my days. There was an open restaurant at the back of the beach where my mother had an account for the whole summer, so I could eat and drink whatever I wanted. The beach was a wonderfully social place, and Araminta made me especially popular. I loved taking young people for rides and letting them water ski, and I let my friends drive the boat for me to water ski. As a boat owner, I was somewhat overconfident, given that I was only a 15-year-old with no boat training or previous experience whatsoever. Knowing nothing of the rules of navigation, I drove her into Monte Carlo harbor at about 20 miles per hour. I was met with screams of concern and abuse from all sides. On one occasion, I was so busy chatting with my friends on board that I took both hands off the wheel to raise them high and wide while I regaled them with a story. To much laughter from my passengers, I lost my balance and fell backwards into the Mediterranean. One of my passengers was kind enough to take the wheel and circle the boat to collect me.